Welcome, everyone. Let's dive into the fascinating topic of how China and Africa are reshaping the global diamond trade by challenging the dominance of DeBeers.
That's definitely a twist, right? DeBeers ruled the diamond scene for over 100 years, and now we're seeing a major shift.
Absolutely. It's like the traditional powerhouse is slowly being dismantled. Now, Chinese factories are mass producing lab grown diamonds that are chemically identical to natural ones, which is causing prices to plummet worldwide.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Imagine diamonds losing their allure because of overproduction.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that it doesn't just stop at pricing. The quality perception is also changing because the influx of these lab grown stones is reshaping what consumers consider a luxury.
Right, so are we saying that the entire market is evolving? It's like um, the old rules of supply and demand are being rewritten, huh?
Yeah, it's like we're witnessing a complete overhaul in the market dynamics. Prices are collapsing for both man-made and natural diamonds because the supply curve has shifted massively due to increased availability.
Yeah, and what's the role of Africa, specifically Botswana, in all of this? I heard there's a strategic move at play.
Great question. See, De Beers sources most of its rough diamonds from Botswana. The new government there is determined to take back control by moving the value chains to Botswana itself. This means retaining billions of dollars in revenue right within the country.
That's really interesting. So Botswana is leveraging this shift to perhaps boost its own economy instead of letting profits funnel out to big multinational giants?
Exactly. And here's where it gets even more compelling. Anglo American, which is De Beers' parent company, is trying to divest its holdings. They even wrote off $4.5 billion in book value over the past 2 years in a desperate move to salvage the situation, yet no buyers are lining up.
So, essentially, we're seeing how traditional business models are being upended by disruptive innovation and strategic national policies.
Precisely. It's like an economic tug of war where emerging players and new approaches are fundamentally questioning the old order.
Yeah, but here's what I'm curious about. Some critics might say that lab grown diamonds lack the history and romance of natural ones. What's your take on that?
I get that perspective, but the market is evolving. For many consumers, the ethical and economic benefits, like lower environmental impact and ethical sourcing, are making lab-grown diamonds just as attractive, if not more so, than their naturally mined counterparts.
That's a fair point, though I'd argue there's still a segment of the market that values the rarity and natural origin story of mined diamonds.
Sure, there's definitely a romantic aspect with naturally mined diamonds, but the sheer scale of production and the price collapse affect both segments. It's a market-wide phenomenon, not just confined to one segment.
Right? It seems like it's a dual edged sword for De Beers. They're slapped with pressure from lab grown competition and then political economic shifts in Africa.
Exactly, and the impact is not just economic but also geopolitical. When you think about it, Botswana's strategic move is almost a reclamation of national resources. It's like they're saying, we deserve the fruits of our land.
Right. I like that imagery, a kind of economic sovereignty reclaiming what was once taken for granted by a global cartel.
And this shift is made even more dramatic when you consider how technology played a huge role. Chinese factories have scaled up production of lab grown diamonds with impressive efficiency. It's not just about making more, it's about doing it with great consistency and quality that rivals nature.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, are we going to see even more technological advances that completely disrupt long established industries?
Absolutely, it's like an ongoing revolution. We might even compare this to how digital photography impacted the film industry. Once the king, now overtaken by a more accessible
Uh
technology.
huh. That's a strong comparison. But here's my challenge. Isn't there still, a cachet about natural diamonds that might keep them relevant among collectors and connoisseurs even as the mainstream market shifts?
That's a valid challenge. While there will undoubtedly be niches where natural diamonds retain a sort of mystique, the broader market dynamics are shifting so dramatically that overall profitability for the cartel is on the decline. This isn't just a niche market issue, it's systemic.
I see your point. Systemic economic changes often trump niche collector interests.
Right, and as prices collapse, even the traditional allure of natural diamonds becomes less of a competitive advantage. The economic reality is simply too strong.
And speaking of economics, did you catch the part about high US tariffs causing debates about economic suffering in China? It seems like narrative got flipped on its head in another context.
Yes, that's a neat footnote in all of this. Experts argued that high US tariffs were harming China's economy, but apparently that narrative has been turned upside down. It shows you how interlinked global policies are with these market changes.
Yeah. So, would you say that technological disruption, ethical considerations, and geopolitical strategies are all converging on this issue?
Exactly. It's a multifaceted disruption. On one side, you've got technology, mass production of lab grown diamonds, and on the other, strategic moves by countries like Botswana to capture more value. And the entire scenario is wrapped up in shifting global trade policies.
That convergence really makes it a complex and layered issue.
It sure does. It's almost like a perfect storm for the diamond industry. And this could have ripple effects across not just jewelry markets, but also on our perceptions of luxury and scarcity.
Right? Because when you start questioning what a diamond's value is based on, you end up reevaluating a whole cultural and economic system.
Precisely. It's a paradigm shift. And what's fascinating is how quickly things are moving. Even established giants like DeBeers are scrambling to keep up.
Do you think DeBeers has any realistic chance of adapting? Or is this a case of a giant slowly losing its ability to reinvent itself?
Well, they're certainly in a bind. They've had over a century of dominance, but when you face rapid innovation and deliberate national policy changes, it's a tall order. It's like trying to steer a massive ship in a rapidly changing current, difficult to change course quickly.
Yeah, and that ship is now being tested by new winds coming from China and Africa.
Right, and with the current trajectory, the traditional metrics of value in the diamond industry might no longer apply. It's a revolutionary moment.
Definitely. This really gives us a peek at how global economics and local policies can jointly overturn long-standing monopolies.
Yeah, and it's a stark reminder that no sector is immune from disruption, no matter how established. The diamond cartel, with its centuries-old influence, is proof of that.
Fascinating stuff. It's like the diamond market is being reset for a new era, one where technology and strategic national interests determine the value rather than scarcity alone.
Exactly. It's a reset. And it will be interesting to see how consumers, investors, and companies reconfigure their strategies when traditional assumptions are turned on their head.
Agreed. Well, that was an enlightening discussion. Thanks for breaking down such a complex topic so clearly.
Anytime. It's always exciting to unpack these dramatic shifts in the global market, especially when industries we thought were untouchable start to crumble.
Right on. And to everyone listening, keep an eye on how this story unfolds. It might change the way we think about luxury entirely.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Until next time, keep questioning the status quo.